You always told me, make the best of things for now. Try to keep your feet on the ground and never fly away. Oh, but we'll learn from their mistakes.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with HelloGoodVibes.
We're your hosts, Ryan.
Dylan.
And we're here.
Carlos.
And Carlos.
Carlos the Squishmallow.
Say hi. The Squishmallow. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Squishmallow. Learn something new every day. We're just trying to bring the vibes today. So, chime in, put it on in the background. Maybe watch while you're driving.
True. Hang out with us for a little bit. Don't hang out. Actually,
Don't watch while you're driving.
Don't watch while you're driving. That's a bad idea.
Chillen with Carlos. So, yeah. What's new? What's going on? What's new in the world?
Dude, I did not have the best last week, but I know you were busy.
I
You had a wedding at Knotfest.
Yeah, I did go to a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to hear you didn't have the best week.
Luckily, just a sinus infection.
Okay.
Right? First couple days, I thought maybe it was going to be like COVID, just because it came on so fast. All of a sudden, like my nose was really congested, but then I didn't have any other symptoms. It was just like strong nose congestion, and then after a day, it moved down to my throat, and then it moved down from my throat to my chest. But it wasn't all three at the same time.
Okay.
So that's how I knew it
Gradual
was.
process.
I knew it was a sinus infection, just because it was just it started up in my head and it moved down to my chest, and then I coughed up phlegm for a day and a half, and you might be able to hear in my voice I'm still a little bit sinusy, but that was really the extent of it. No fever, no nausea, no stomach problems. It was just purely mucus. So
Maybe it might be a good thing. In a way.
no, definitely, I would not.
I mean, go through it and clear out your pipes, clear the system. That's good. Seem to have recovered well.
Yeah, I definitely feel way better now.
I was actually feeling that coming on yesterday, a little bit, lymph node swole action, but I think that might be because of my weekend. Went to my homie Dylan Bendler and Emilee, now Bendler.
Congratulations, you two.
Congrats, guys.
If you happen to watch this, I'm very happy for you guys.
Chime in. I'll send the link right now.
Yeah,
I'll send the link. No, it's cool. They moved to Hawaii recently, so they flew back for the wedding.
That's sick.
Partied up. We went to every concert that happened within that week's span. So that was really cool just to see. And they made it back to Hawaii just a couple days ago safely, so that was coul. They even went down to Louder Than Life while they're here, so it was nice to just see that they came in the mainland and just went to every show that he could have possibly gone to.
Go from being out in the water to a landlocked state.
Exactly. I'm just sending him a message now.
Yeah, hit him up real quick.
Then after that, the very next day, Sunday was Pointfest.
I forgot about Pointfest.
Really? Yeah.
I know you did Road to Pointfest. I didn't know Pointfest happened.
Yeah,
I totally missed that.
The second Pointfest of this year, because they do May and September's.
Mm-hmm.
My good friends in the Ricters, shout out the Ricters. They won Battle of Pointfest.
Nice.
Through Pops. Shout out Pops.
Nice.
And it was cool to see them make it to that point. And Pointfest was actually my first real big show or festival I've ever been to. I left 2009. So it was cool to see 12 years later. I'm working it now with my friends. So the Ricters performed, and I actually was going to film.
Well, what about Warped Tour? Festival-wise.
I went to Warped Tour. My first one was 2014.
Yeah.
So I was 5 years late to the game, really. Yeah, I know. I've only been to 3 Warped Tours.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have expected more from you.
2014. I performed 2015. I went 2016, and then I played 2017 in Chicago. That was it, so 4.
Yeah, I only missed one Warped Tour between 2009 and the last Warped Tour in 2017, 2018? Well, I don't remember what the last year for...
2018 sounds right. 19,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, 2018. Wow, well, good for you. Yeah,
I was dedicated.
Yeah. I was late to the game. I didn't even really metal until 2013, really 2012, 2013, getting into it.
Yeah, I remember the first Warped Tour I went to was... I saw Gym Class Heroes and Katy Perry.
Wow.
Seeing Katy Perry at Warped Tour was a trip.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. She wasn't even main stage. She was side stage, off to the distance. People didn't really
Full Sail
knew who she was yet. It could have I don't even know if Full Sail was a thing back in 2008.
Wow.
That may have not even been a stage.
Skull Candy or something.
I may have been Skull Candy, but yeah, that was a trip.
Cool. I saw Gym Class Heroes in New York. When I used to live in Rochester. They're from Geneseo, which is like the neighboring town of Avon, where I lived. And so it was a Super Jam, I think. Yeah, Super Jam Fest. And they like headlined it because it was a hometown show, and they killed it. That was actually really cool. So I guess go back to Pointfest, though.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, I didn't go on a tangent, baby. Is what we do. Unfortunately, due to generator failure during sound check, and then so here I'll just give you the layout. The first band, John Harvie. Shout out John Harvie, new up and coming artist from the Nashville area. It was actually his first show ever, opening Pointfest.
Wow.
He was supposed to go on around like 3:00, I think 2:33. Anyway, during sound check, generator failure, took a while to get it back up and running. They didn't really hit the stage till like 3:30. Fun fact, this is cool. Josh Manuel of Issues was filling in playing drums for him. And yeah, and I was just standing because we were setting up for Ricters. They're going on next. And I was like helping load in and stuff and just taking videos. And I looked up and I was like, that guy looks just like Josh Manuel. And I kept looking at him. I was like, no, he's got the cheetah print drum skins and everything. So I just walked up to him and was like, hey, are you Josh?
I mean, no,
like,
I want to interrupt you too much, but like, and no offense to John Richter, but who's John Richter, and how does he just have like Josh Manuel coming and drumming for him?
Sorry, John Harvie.
Or John Harvie.
Yeah, John Harvie. I don't really know that. I asked Josh when I met him. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? Because I had no idea he was playing drums or why. He was like, oh, John Harvie's opening show. He asked me to like fill in for. So he just, I guess, in the industry, he said the guitarist Andrew, which I'm now friends with too, met him. He's been like a notorious studio writer and helped even with like some Issues stuff. And so he said, hey, you got to meet my friend John Harvie. He's a great vocalist, great performer. He was pretty stellar for his first show. Honestly, he killed it. And Josh told me he was moving to Nashville soon and to be like a full-time studio drummer. And I was like, cool, right on. So he's like, he just got the connect because he's John Harvie signed through 300 Century Media Company or something like that. I don't know, 300 Century Entertainment, something like that. I'm ignorant of it right now, but so I was like, wow, cool. How serendipitous to just run into him. Yeah, one of my favorite drummers. And then I was like, is it cool if I film your show? He was like, absolutely, to get all in there. And then I was like, wow, didn't expect that at all. And so they finally took the stage like 3:30, filmed pretty much their whole set. Halfway through the set, generator fails again. Yeah, they have death fluid in it. So they improvised. John Harvie did the right thing, grabs an acoustic guitar, jumps up to the barricade, and plays Fall Out Boy, Sugar Going Down, and I just run over there and start filming. I'm right in his face, on the side of the barricade. And then he taught the crowd one of his new hit singles, Bleach, and call and repeat kind of thing. And it was really cool to see, and he owned it, And then, like right at the very end of that, generator comes back on, they fix it, so they get back on stage. It was kind of interesting how they pretty much had like almost an hour-long set for the very opening band because with the generator failure. And I thought they would be like, all right, next band up, but they let them play like 3 more songs after. So they got to play that, but unfortunately because of the 2 generator failures and time cuts, they, I guess, the Point decided to cut the Ricters set completely. Yeah, because I guess they were the local band, the winner. They can. They're just like, them.
Yeah, we'll get you on the next one or something.
They did. They guaranteed him a slot for the May 2022 Pointfest. So for those of you watching and are care to go to you Pointfest goers or whatnot, like alternative music, in the St. Louis area, you should go to the Pointfest and see the Ricters then perform, and they get a live on-air radio interview actually sometime this week, and I'm going to go into film for it too. And
nice. So you're going to go down to the station? Yeah, you go to the Point Station. So
it was unfortunate, but it was bittersweet. I think I told him, it might be a blessing in disguise because who knows, the opportunities don't come from it. And they are, their streams boomed. They played them a few times on the Point. Moon gave them a shout out. So, and they get to play next year, so they're just going to have a little bit more anticipation for it. Mm-hmm. So it was cool. They were really bummed about it, and I was sad to see because they're my good friends, and I was really excited to film them Pointfest, and they were the only band that got cut out of everybody. And so, but I got to film John Harvie and Josh Manuel, my favorite drummers, so that made up for it. It was on my end, and that was a cool experience. And then right after that, I was supposed to swing by, get those tickets for Dance Gavin Dance,
which
then he got, while I'm at Pointfest, got canceled.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude. 2-hour notice too. I remember like Madison and I were getting ready, and all of a sudden she comes up to me. She goes, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "What happened?"
Why
you don't just like come up to me and just be like, "I'm so sorry."
and
that's when she told me, she's like, "Oh, Dance canceled the show tonight," and then like. They were like, yeah, we're going to cancel the whole show tonight. One person got sick. And then they still played like 2 days later in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you were still going to play your shows for the tour and there was only one person, like, just don't let that person in the venue. But, I don't know, in 2 days, can you realistically get everybody on the tour, like, tested and, like, set to go to continue the tour?
Yeah.
The whole thing just seemed like really out of control.
It does. A lot of different, variables that we may not know, especially, just hearing the unfortunate news of Matt Mingus, the drummer, being kicked out of the band. And
well, I don't think he was kicked out. I think it was more just like he's going to inpatient. That's what I read.
Okay.
So they're sending him basically home to get recovery, do some inpatient stuff.
Maybe I misspoke, but kicked off the tour.
Kicked off the tour, yeah. They didn't say anything about him not being in the band anymore. It was more just like I didn't see it, right? I just read everything about it because they keep taking, I guess when the video goes up, Rise has been really on it about taking it down because they don't want people to, see what happened. But I guess he was offbeat during, I think, Son of a Robot or something like that. And Tillian just like stopped and turned to him and started yelling at him.
Oh, wow.
And then at that point, his drum tech, I think, came out and finished playing the set. And then maybe it was a conversation they had after the set where he was, maybe just finally told them, like, I'm struggling with substance abuse again. And I don't know if he was having withdrawals and that's why he was struggling with the set, or if he was on something on the set. I don't want to speculate because, like I said, I didn't see it. I wasn't there. I don't want to speak poorly on anybody, but it's hard, knowing people with substance abuse issues too, and then like seeing musicians going through it, and I mean they couldn't finish the set. He just wasn't playing right. Yeah. So to have like the show in St. Louis canceled, the show in Chicago I think went fine, and I don't know how many shows they've had until yesterday, or yesterday or the day before yesterday, something where it finally just kind of fell apart and the drum tech has to fill in.
But they're still finishing out the tour.
They're still finishing out the tour, yeah. The drum tech is just going to play all the songs, and hopefully he gets the help that he needs, so that way next time they tour, he can come back and do his thing.
Yeah. We're rooting for you, Matt.
Yeah, dude.
You're a killer drummer, man. It's unfortunate to see, but who knows? I couldn't imagine. I don't know the pressure of that, too, especially like that industry, and they're, again, one of Rise Records' top artists that is they're pushed pretty hard right now. It seems like they're working their ass off. I couldn't tell you what it's like to do headlining tours and be under that kind of pressure, so I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But hope for a speedy recovery and get back on the horse,
Yeah, man, get better. We wanna hear you live.
Yeah. More dance. And I was excited to see Animals as leaders on that, and unfortunately they dropped. So.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. I just know that that was before the tour started. I just remember seeing the tweet that it was like, unfortunately, Animals leaders can't play anymore, but we got Polyphia. So I wasn't really like, I was only disappointed in the sense that I guess I've never seen both of them.
Yeah. But
I just feel like the rhythmic, like mesmerizing sensation of like standing and seeing Animals as leaders play live. Kind of gave me that like enthused feeling a little bit more than like seeing Polyphia, because don't get me wrong, Polyphia is one of the top bands for me, but in a live experience, I just feel like the groove of Animals as leaders would have really got me.
Yeah, that would have been
really got me in the zone.
Otherworldly. Yeah, I've never seen Animals live out of that whole bill. I was really looking forward to that, but next time.
Next time I'll come back around.
So there's still a lot of good shows going on, and festivals coming up or being postponed at least till next year, which is totally unfortunate, but beyond a lot of people's control. I was excited to see potentially go down to Texas, see Architects and Polyphia Loathe, and that like just yesterday got postponed to the next fall.
Yeah, wait. Yeah. Didn't they just post it yesterday? I guess dates that they posted yesterday were the fall dates for next time. I don't know. I saw like
the like 4 or 5 that are in England. Those days.
no, there was a bunch. Like I thought the closest one was Chicago.
That was like the For Those Who Wish to Exist tour.
Yeah, that one.
just got postponed yesterday to
Damn, that
next
sucks.
fall. But they are playing a few dates in England for just like private intimate shows apparently. So that's cool. But I was looking forward to that. I'll just have to wait more.
Always waiting.
Yeah, but if you get the chance to go see a band that you love or would like to see before you can't, and their show is not canceled, I recommend going to see that, because you never know if that happen. That opportunity will happen again, and I don't know, seize the moment kind of thing. Yeah. So I guess I'm finishing up the Pointfest story. Actually, I forgot because I was going down for the Dance Gavin Dance. And then that got canceled, which was, I guess, no biggie, because then I was in between. I was running to Red Flag to go work for my homies, and This Is Me Breathing. Sling some merch for them after that, too. So
that's right. They were playing Red Flag.
And that was killer. They're awesome. They always put on a good show. They're just getting better and better every time. Actually, fun fact, a year ago today, I just got a memory for it, was when I filmed Zach Moores, the drummer, his drum playthrough for Sodom on the rooftop of my warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
That was a year ago today, and it feels like it was just 4 months ago, so that's crazy. So, shout out, This Is Me Breathing.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the homeboys.
He's alright. He's pretty good drums.
That's a good guy. Yeah. I like him.
So yeah, that was my Sunday last week, not even this week. That was fun. Busy week again. I'm currently in the process of trying to sell the biggest asset of my life.
Big pressure.
It's a nightmare, but it's cool. It'll all pay off. It's gonna work itself out. Went to Knotfest. Left Friday with my beautiful girlfriend Devin.
Yeah, let's talk about Knotfest. I want to hear what you got to say.
That was
about
cool. That was sick. I left Friday night to go to Iowa. Stayed in Indiana, Iowa, and then went to Indianola, Iowa the next morning for Knotfest. So we got a cute little farm cabin thing out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so you like Airbnb your stay? Nice.
And it was chilling. It was actually an excellent stay. That reminds me, I got to write Arlene a review. He had a great hospitality, Arlene. It was cool. It was just
Arlene, you better be in here watching this.
My Iowa Airbnb host. Got up the next morning. We had whiskey and tea and whiskey and coffee for breakfast. So that was cool. Didn't expect it.
Isn't that an Irish breakfast?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I had an Irish breakfast on Saturday morning going to Knotfest. Just like not the best idea, but it wasn't not the worst idea.
Clever use.
Yeah. Get to Indianola, to the air balloon field where they hosted it, and we were in line just for 2 hours alone. We got there at about 11:30, and the first band started at like 11:50. Widow 7, I believe, and then
was it hot?
It wasn't too hot. It was actually really nice. It was like 80 degrees, 79 degrees, okay. The whole day. No clouds, but nice, a lot of wind. Mm-hmm. Nice breeze though. But there's no humidity. It's not St. Louis.
Right.
So it was very nice, crisp, cool air. Wait in line for like 2 hours. Some guy pays me $50 to cut me in line. I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Which, it's funny because we wait in line for about 2 hours. We get into the home stretch. There's like maybe another 15 minutes of wait. And there's a long line. There's 30,000 people sold out. We're in a long line that's winding up, around these hills and up roads and stuff, and get to the entrance. We could see it. And then everybody looks to the left, and there's another line of people that just said, like, screw this, and just started coming up over a hill, and you could just see them. They make their way towards us. It was maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people, and they just merged right into our line right at the entrance, and so they were panicking, the staff, and they opened more. There's a VIP entrance thing, and then they actually starting out where my girlfriend was standing, okay, you guys come here, go to the VIP entrance,
okay,
right,
yeah. That's
so it's
best case scenario there.
Yeah, got paid $50, and then everybody just jumped the line anyway, and then we got the VIP line, and so I was like, all right, I don't know how, but, and so it's just everybody started yelling at him, pointing, no, you gotta wait in line like the rest of us, and they just didn't listen and just merged. It was funny, but it was so chaotic, and so That was before even just getting inside the venue.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it was in line or like in line for water, but Doug was telling me he was like, yeah, people were passing out, like from dehydration.
There was a few pass outs because it was one of those days because it was nice and sunny, but yeah, it wasn't too hot, and you get carried away, like you're drinking. There's a lot of people drinking and stuff, but they don't realize that like after 4 or 5 hours of sitting in the sun, like I got.
Oh yeah, dude! Look at that line.
Yeah, I'm burnt because
I don't know if you can make it out on camera, but
yeah,
that is a decent tan line there.
I have a sunglass tan line too, so I'm just keeping these on. But yeah, we finally make it inside, and then like we walked. We're getting in line. Vended had just played, which is Corey Taylor and Sean Cronin. I don't remember his last name.
Crahan.
My girlfriend's so mad at me. Sean Clown. Crayon or something. Crayon.
Crahan.
Yeah,
I think.
Crayon. Their son's band, they opened it up there with the second band, so that was cool. I heard him from line, but I didn't get to see him.
Corey Taylor's son?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the vocals for
Yeah.
Bended.
Okay, yeah, because I heard, like, I've been on TikTok and people were like, oh, is this new Slipknot? And they're like, no, but you're close.
Kinda. yeah.
Okay, yeah, I spelled it right. I just...
Yeah. She knows. We get there, we're staying in line, or we finally like make our way to the stages. There's 2 stages stacked side by side, which is kind of cool. It's convenient. Where do we walk up? We're watching Turnstile.
Oh, Turnstile
When we
played.
first got in, yeah.
Nice.
That was cool. They're all right. And I think that was my first time seeing them. And then Knocked Loose.
Beautiful.
They put on a hell of a show. That was actually really good. They got it. I think they were like, I don't know, like propelled it into like the whole like, okay, it's about to get fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought
started
some heavy.
slamming.
They were heavier than usual too, which is cool. Very good energy. And then we were like, okay, this is a good time to get water because people are just bum rushing it soon, kicking up a lot of dust. It was a dust fest, really. We go in the line, and this is where I was a little disappointed for a few things. Like they were totally understaffed and like miscalculated, I guess, like the resources, products, resources, food and water, beverages, and so there's 2 tents for water, and there's maybe 4 people working at each tent, and there's 30,000 people.
Yeah, which begs the question: who goofed? Right? Because like I don't think that would be a Slipknot mistake.
No,
I feel like that would be whoever they hired,
the production manager, just whoever put the festival together and arranged it and set up all the vendors. So whoever was in charge of the vending, because it was sponsored by Liquid Death.
Okay.
Mountain water in the can. So that's cool that was the only water you can get. You can't bring in any water or food. So you forced to get that 1 can of water. So like they got a good deal for that.
Yeah.
Shout out Liquid Death.
Honestly, it's great water.
It is.
I love Liquid Death.
Water I've ever had. Mm-hmm. So in a can, and it was only $4, so that was fairly reasonable. They could have gouged $10 a can.
Right.
But it was like $4 a can of water, $5 for a beer. So it was actually like pretty reasonable.
Pretty reasonable.
But the line for water alone, we were in line right at the end of Knocked Loose. We were in line for about an hour and a half to get water. And
that's like 3 bands worth of sets at a festival.
We listened to, while we were in line for water, I don't remember the first one. Knocked Loose, then bounced back over, then Tech 9, then Trivium.
Ooh, I would have liked to see Trivium.
Trivium was good. Matt Heafy, right? Yeah, Matt Heafy. He was controlling that crowd, and he was funny too. It was cool. He knows what he's doing. He's a professional. So yeah, we're in line the whole time for that and get 4 waters because we're like, all right, well,
stock up. Make sure you don't want to wait in that line again.
Wasn't even enough. So, or you know what? I misspoke. We the first time we got in line to get those 4 waters, we were only in line for like maybe 30 minutes. It was chilling. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna stock up, get 4, and then slammed those pretty quickly. And they're like, all right, we better get in line now again. And that's what we did. It was an hour and a half. We saw all those bands. And then we got 6 that time for the rest of the night.
So 10 cans of water, $4 a piece, $40 on just water.
$40 on water, and waited a total of like 2 hours for water. Then we didn't get any alcohol the time. We're like, well, we had Irish breakfast, so we're just not gonna drink anymore. Then we were like, well, it's about that time. We're getting hungry. So we bounce over to the food stand. We get in line for this like barbecue thing. We're like, what, maybe 10 people away, 20 people away. And then it closes down. And like, oh, sold out.
Yeah, I heard that have. Oh, never mind. Keep going. I was thinking of something else that happened that I heard about.
Okay, I might even tell you.
You might get to it. So I don't want to interrupt you too much because I want to hear what,
The barbecue place that closed down, that was like smelling and looking the best. They were sold out. So then everybody just kind of like looked to the right and we saw a corn dog stand and we just kind of like confused. We were like, well, everybody's kind of merging lines today. So it made sense, I guess, to kind of zipper it in. We zippered in. So and we got some corn dogs and it was like, I think also $4 a corn dog. And we got like 4 the first time. So spent another $16.
That was probably my tag.
Okay. Just for corn dogs. And we're like,
wait, run that back one more time. How much on corn dogs?
I think they were $4 each.
$4 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but fortunately, it was right next to stage 2, and Gojira was taking stage, so I was like, got to see that whole thing on corn dogs, and I was pretty much there to see Gojira. They honestly sounded, I think, the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the coolest just backdrop. It took up the whole back of the stage, and yeah, I don't know, it was just a legit full show. All the other bands, like stage production, which was, I'm sure, limited time and whatnot, didn't really offer much. Gojira was the first band to like drop a banner and shit and like do the damn thing.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Actually get set up.
They sounded awesome, so we got some grub in. We were chilling.
There we go. $5 per corn dog. 35 on corn dogs.
She knows. She's
that probably just hurt.
I
so
know.
that's $75
so far
on water and corn dogs.
Got us. Yeah, and then we went back to the hill, found us a little spot for Lamb of God, and that was like almost too much. It was just,
Randy Blythe.
Yeah. He got a little guest appearance for Gojira too. So
that's
cool.
what I saw. I didn't watch it, but I saw the YouTube thumbnail.
Same. Didn't watch it yet. And then I had to sit down for Lamb of God. My legs were shaking, and it was just constant, just double bass, in your face. And I was like, wow. I was taking it all in. Then it was like, chilled, watch the rest of the show. Lamb of God, and then Suicide Boys came on after.
Suicide Boys played Knotfest?
Yeah,
that's pretty sick.
And it was cool. It was like they did a good job. It was just funny. I think they totally underestimated it, and because they probably had no idea what to expect. And they even said that on stage. Scarecrow was like, "Damn, I didn't know this motherfucker was gonna be this big." Because it was a sea of people, 30,000 people. He's like, I had no idea.
You mean Scrim?
Yeah,
Scarecrow.
Yeah.
No.
Then we're like, well, I'm getting hungry again. Should go get some more corn dogs. So we got more corn dogs. Dude, you got an awesome message.
An awesome message
from Artie Payday Bar 16.
Bot.
Want to become famous? Buy followers.
Buy followers.
We don't buy followers.
I'll pass. I like the organic.
Yeah,
the organic discovery.
Go get some more corn dogs because we're like, well, it's about that time. We're hungry. I think for Slipknot. Okay, and then after Suicide Boys, which was kind of funny because I was like dogging on them. I was like, they didn't know what to expect and they had no set production, nothing at all. House lights. They used the house mics. They looked like they were in their PJs. Just like hopped on a plane, showed up in Iowa. They probably didn't know what to expect because they didn't. They even said that. So they're pretty blown away. So Lamb of God, Suicide Boys was like minimal, and so many people, like I can hear around the crowd just complaining, like next boo.
Oh no, don't do that.
They didn't know what to expect either. They were there for heavy metal, and then they're like, okay, Lamb of God, Suicide Boys, these guys must be heavy or something. Just,
depending on the set, they got some heavy songs. Like, dude, anytime
bass.
Paris comes on, that song it freaking blows me away. I just want to start throwing my elbows around,
bang my dreads,
bang my dreads.
So then I went to the porta potty during Suicide Boys, and that was kind of cool, actually, because the bass was just rumbling the whole thing. So I had my own little concert inside of a porta potty. Porta potty system was actually pretty well set up. Okay, I'm really impressed by this. The 2 concession stands for waters and like Gatorades, which they kept selling out and then had to restock. And there's like one person's job was to keep running cases of liquid death back to the tent and then rip them out of the boxes and make a cardboard mountain. It was just kind of funny. That was like shabby because they just like either kept selling out or that was underestimated, I guess. And then, but the porta potties, it wrapped around like 50% of the perimeter of it, and so there's just stacked side by side, and there was probably like almost 1,000 porta potties, I guess. And there was like an on-site septic tank that kept going back and forth and was like cleaning them out and shit. So
okay, I mean
I've never seen that, so I was like, cool. They're like on that, so it wasn't just by the end of the festival.
I mean, there's probably
pouring out of the
yeah. I was gonna say there's probably a concern about that. I mean, if everybody's eating corn dogs,
and beer, yeah, in Iowa. So yeah, they did a good job on that. And so shout out to the porta potty company. Yeah, went back, and then Megadeth came on after Suicide Boys, and honestly, it was like I think my favorite for the night. Just seeing Dave Mustaine and flawless.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing about their show was on point and super cool, chill dude. He like didn't move much, even was very soft spoken. But then again, he's just recovered from throat cancer, so I can imagine. But he was still singing and hitting every note. But whenever he was just talking, dude, this is really cool to see. It was like didn't sound like Dave, but he was very humble because he was like, "This is honestly the biggest show we've ever played in Iowa."
That's huge.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't like the vocal coach, like after the throat situation, right? Was like in between if you're singing, just like talk real quiet, don't put much strain on it, so that way when you go back to singing, you aren't already strained just from like talking loudly or like shouting at the crowd and
exactly. Yeah, it wasn't like off music. There was like no energy, which is cool because he was just talking, but everybody was like listening. It was dead quiet, which is also really cool. 30,000 crowd, everybody was just like glued and what's he saying? And it was really nice to just. That was my first time seeing Megadeth, and I wanted to. Can't for whatever reason. It sounded just like the studio.
Yeah.
Too. They're. Like I said, when I was being like spot on, flawless vocals.
Yeah, it's crazy for a festival because like outdoor music, usually the audio mixing is harsh.
And that was one thing too. I was like, it was iffy about the audio was constantly being mixed and like obviously, but very badly. It was very abrupt. It wasn't like a slow, gradual like okay, let's try and actually EQ this, balance it out because then it would phase and go left and right, and they're just panning it poorly, and so it was like annoying at times. You just see like. People would jerk just because a big wave would hit them, and like it was not subtle at all.
Yeah.
So it was just that was a little disappointing, but I can imagine how hard that was. And it was on the top of a hill instead of like being at the bottom of a hill and using the hill. It was like a weird.
So they did like a reverse. It was at the top of a hill.
Yeah, it was like the reverse of a theater.
Yeah,
an amphitheater. But I figured because it's rain or shine, and it kind of rained the day before, they in hopes that it rained, that it wouldn't just flood the bottom of the amphitheater, which makes sense. So I was just noticing little things that I was like, man, I would have loved to help build this, or even pointers like the PA rack that was suspended for the main stage wasn't strapped securely. Yeah, it was just like waving and back and forth, and there was so much slack on the ratchet. I was like, wow, that's dangerous.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it's sketchy. But yeah, Megadeth killed it, and then the boys and Slipknot.
Mm-hmm. How long was their set?
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah,
okay.
An hour. All bangers, and it was a damn good show. Also pretty flawless. It was spot on.
Did they do any new music?
Yeah. Like
not released. What I mean is what I meant. Like, do they have any like new material that they were played, or just stuck strictly to?
Not that I know of. It was all released music.
Okay.
Unless I heard something I didn't know. I don't think so. That's a question for my girlfriend. She's the biggest Slipknot fan in the world. No, I was kidding. But that's her favorite band.
Give her the title, man.
Yeah. You're the biggest Slipknot fan in the world. Made it all the way from St. Louis. Irish breakfast to see.
Was it number 9 whiskey?
No, it was Old Smoky Tennessee whiskey, smoked maple flavor. Or something.
That's a good breakfast whiskey.
Yeah, because it was a mixer. We didn't have she didn't have cream or anything for the coffee, and it actually worked pretty well as a substitute. Because you wouldn't know it was whiskey if I gave it to you in a cup. You would think it's like a maple flavored drink. So it's dangerous.
That's nice. I had myself a spiked cider the other day, and I put 2 shots of what did I put in it? 2 shots of Kirkland whiskey or something like that in it, and stirred it up. Started sipping on it, and I'm like, this is just some warm cider. This is nice. And then, I had to cut another shot or 2 of the whiskey because I just liked the way it tasted. And, I go sit down and play video games on my computer with my friends, and I think we were playing Apex. And I'm like, so thrown off by the audio. I'm like, they're on the right side of me shooting, but I'm hearing the gunshots on the left. I'm like, we're doing a firefight in front of me, but it sounds like the firefight's behind me, and I was getting pissed off. I'm like, what's wrong with the audio? I'm like, I'm getting dizzy because what I'm seeing is not matching up audibly. And then I go to like flip my headphones back on and off just to like see if maybe there was some sort of issue with the software. And I'm like, where's the button?
Going backwards.
I'll wear my headphones backwards for like 30 minutes just bitching about the audio not working in the game.
Blame it on the whiskey.
That was exactly, Madison looked at me and she was just like, oh, okay. Like, I think you drank a little bit there, didn't you? I felt like an idiot. Complaining for nothing, for something that was purely my fault.
It happens. Honestly, we could just keep that, our little secret.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh.
But Knotfest was a success.
Good.
Had a great time, other than the sunburn, which we found out the sunblock was in the car the whole time.
So you didn't put sunblock on?
We brought it. We thought we left it at the Airbnb, and then it was like under my seat in the car.
Oh God.
Stayed for their encore, which I don't remember what it was. What was their encore? Maybe it was Duality or something. No, I don't know, but it was cool. We get out there. I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to leave. Like, we can listen to the encores as we go,
right?
But we stayed for the whole thing. We trooped it out, and a long hike back to the car. And then we sat in the car in traffic for 1 hour before we even moved.
Damn.
Yeah, we pulled out of a spot and then...
And just sit and wait.
Yeah,
That's the worst part about leaving festivals is, like, you want to stay to the end. Because, the big bands of any festival, it's like, that's the last one you're going to see.
I know, yeah.
Set ends at, like, 10 p.m. Everybody starts rolling out at the same time. And you're just stuck, sitting, and waiting, tired, exhausted. You just want to sleep. You're sunburned. A little hungover already from the day drinking earlier.
Yeah, it was a little rough. It was actually smoother than I thought, with all variables considered, and sunburn. If we didn't, she and I both got it. So if we didn't get the sunburn, I feel like it would have been 10. And then maybe better drinking situation. People were coming up to us and trying to buy our water from us, like $20 of water and stuff, so just to skip the line. It's tempting, but I was like, well, we actually
you need it. You need it. Yeah.
And then one guy came up and was like, hey, I'll buy that beer for $20. I was like, this is a water, my man. He goes, oh. All right. Like, I was like, oh, damn. I was like,
people equal shit, sick, and surfacing. So, beautiful. Okay. So, a little self-titled in Iowa. Nice.
We'll leave it to Devin. She's the pro. I'm proud of her for, sticking it out. And I was the one being like, hey, you want to, how long do you want to stay? I kept every 20 minutes. I was doing the whole stretch my back out because I was like, I'm fucked.
We're getting old. I can't stand in the crowd anymore.
Yeah. She didn't complain. Oh, here's another funny part. I was during Lamb of God, smoke a little, and I'm like, all right, I'm feeling it. And I get cold, I guess, naturally when I smoke. And I didn't have a hoodie with me because I was like, oh, it's 80 degrees. But I was like, oh yeah, I got down to 40 at night, and it was pretty drastic.
Yeah, I guess Iowa is one of those Midwest states similar to here where it's 80, 90 in the early day, and then the temperature just drops so quickly. Right. You're just not prepared.
So, and I wasn't, so I went to the merch so I can buy a hoodie or jacket, and they only had, from what I saw, I guess one Slipknot hoodie, which I probably should have gotten, but the Slipknot hoodie, and then which I thought was a hoodie, but it actually was just a jacket, zip-up jacket, was the Liquid Death, and I was like, well, they did help us out for the day, so I bought a Liquid Death jacket for $70.
Dude, I like what they're doing. I didn't understand. I was like, okay, Liquid Death, that's cool. I feel like they're really marketing towards getting YouTubers and streamers to really just drink their water, and they're really good at they're really good at promoting smaller streamers as well, just to get it going.
Dude,
and
we should get a Liquid
I would love it, but the big thing for me is the whole premise. I didn't understand what Liquid Death, the name meant, and it's liquid death to plastic. So their cans, they're 100% recyclable, reusable. So their whole model is, kill your thirst, but death to plastic.
Yeah.
You want to help the environment and drink good water.
I'm even more of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So, y'all, we'll try and hit them up soon. Liquid Death. I'll wear my jacket next
next
podcast.
stream.
But and it was a large because I didn't have my size. Just my girlfriend made a point. She's like, "Well, I like to get my merch earlier in the day because they usually run out of my sizes early."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I probably won't need any merch. And I was like, all right, I need a jacket. And they were out of mediums, and I had to get a large, and it was just baggy on me.
All right, you'll grow into it.
Yeah. Grandma said, if I keep eating my veggies, I'll be 6 foot someday.
Mm-hmm. Stay away from the coffee.
Yeah. No coffee here.
Which, by the way, I was never brought my cup of coffee. Madison, if you're watching the stream, I never got my coffee.
That's all right. We'll let it
we were more focused on the fact that you've never had a cup of coffee.
Yeah. I did try some of Devon's coffee whiskey in Iowa, and I had like a sip of her cold brew. So I've tried coffee.
But you haven't just like sat down and for the purpose of like getting yourself ready in the morning.
I've never taken 3 consecutive slurps of coffee.
Yeah.
Slurps. But
there's a difference between like I've had a couple sips, I've had a cup here and there, and like I'm a daily coffee drinker. I like to have it once or twice a day. Some days I don't have coffee at all, and I have stomach issues, so I wish I could have coffee more often, but gotta weigh it out.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just stick to tea and water and liquid death.
Liquid death. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the jacket. So yeah, we budgeted it up. It ended up it was like about a $700 weekend. Mm-hmm. Especially with food and merch combined. But all in all, great time. It's all almost every act there I've never seen live, besides Knocked Loose actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So everyone was a fresh set for you, except for Knocked Loose.
Yeah. And I was like ready to dip out whenever, and Devin was like, "Come on, it's Slipknot." I want to say
the name of the festival.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know. So no, she toughed it out. She's a trooper. And
hello,
hi guys.
Amin, welcome. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Enjoy some of these vibes. We got a sand and fog candle going right now.
It's off screen. Yeah, it's there.
Very sandy and foggy in here right now. It's like Knotfest all over. No,
it's just like Knotfest.
Yeah, sand and fog is dust. But Dust Fest. Yeah, it was a good time. And what else?
I don't know.
I guess that's it on Knotfest. Now you do the talking.
Well, we're from just outside St. Louis, Missouri. Technically, I'm from Western New York, near the Buffalo area. But this is where I reside now, and I dig it.
I'm from North St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. And you did spend some time in Western New York, out in Rochester, when you were a teenager. So you've got
for a year. Yeah.
For a year. Yep.
I'm a New Yorkan too.
Yeah, I'll give you the credit. You deserve it.
Yeah. You're a New Yorker.
You put in the work. You had to suffer one winter.
Yeah, it was like
New York,
apparently the best winter. And everybody's like prepping me. They're like, "Oh, there's gonna be a foot of snow." Like we get our snow tracks out and our snowshoes, and it's just funny. Like you have to take snowmobiles to school, and I was like, "Oh damn!" I was like, this cracked me up. I was like, "Do you guys ever have snow days?" I'm like, what the hell's a snow day? I go, when it's like snowed out. Yes,
it's like, nah, dude. The buses are big enough to drive over the snow.
Yeah, they're like, no. They laugh like, what the hell is a snow day? I was like, well, in St. Louis, if it snows too bad and the roads are bad, we stay home. Yeah. Like, wow, they laughed, and then they're like, that's crazy. Never heard of that. But I mean, we have wind days though. I'm sure you do. I was like, wind days? Yeah. What the hell is a wind day? Like when the wind's like 80 miles an hour, it's so heavy, it'll just knock you down. Like you can't go to school. It's like, no, we don't have wind days in Missouri.
One of the universities in Buffalo, not University of Buffalo, Buff State University. The original design for it was supposed to be a university in Arizona, so they built these massive wind tunnels. Like they didn't build wind tunnels, but they designed the buildings to act as wind tunnels. And there were certain days where you couldn't walk in between certain buildings to get to where you needed to go because it was pushing wind so hard. Like I remember I had a messenger bag that year. I didn't use a backpack, and it was just like swinging like a cape off my back as I'm like dredging through it, like pushing. It was crazy.
Wednesday.
If you're talking about the country or province of Jordan, yeah. So we got an international viewer with us.
Cool. We were just talking about Jordan actually like yesterday or 2 days ago. My girlfriend, she said she knows somebody from Jordan, so that's kind of funny.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you.
What time is it there? It's got to be like midnight.
I don't think it'd be like midnight. Maybe
It's about
7 hour difference.
Yeah. No. Definitely more than that.
You think so? I know. Well, I know Central Europe is about a 7 hour difference.
Okay.
From here,
Yeah,
7 to 8 hour difference.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
If you're now, let us know. I'm curious what time it is in Jordan.
Yeah, maybe we'll just go there sometime. Is 9:49 p.m.
9:40. Yeah. Okay.
Good call.
Mm-hmm. I know my time zones.
Yeah.
I'm well traveled.
Yeah, I've never left the country, so I guess what do I know about time zones?
I mean, growing up, used to frequent going to Sicily, and that's why I know the Central European time zone. You know, whenever
based off Greenwich.
Yeah, well, you know, when I would go and I'd visit, right, it was when MySpace was first like popping off, so I would want to like communicate with my friends, and when we would go for a month at a time. So that's a long time when you're, you know, between the ages of, you know, 13 to 18, spending every other year a whole month of your summer vacation there. You're like, you want to see what your friends are doing, you want to keep up with them, you want to flex where you're at, post the pictures by the beach and things like that. So my family hated it because I would like almost stick to my Western New York time zone to talk to my friends online instead of like being up early and going to the beach at like 8 a.m. I'd be like up till 5 o'clock in the morning talking to my friends because 5 o'clock in the morning in Sicily is like 10 p.m. in Buffalo. So I was able to I would just stay up all night, MySpace, typing away, AIM. Good time.
Do you have girls for the night?
What? I mean, personally, we both have our own girls for the night.
We got us some women.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you. Is that an offer?
I don't know.
Do you?
I'm interested to see where this conversation is going to go.
Would you like some girls for the night?
I don't know. How could we got mail order bride system
from Jordan?
From Jordan.
Are there any? Is that that'd be kind of funny if is Jordan a female name in that? You know, in that region, like in Jordan, I mean, it's kind of definitely more of like a Western.
I think, the female use of the name Jordan definitely caught popularity. I feel like in
is it like
Western
English?
nations.
Like I've never. But
just a joke. I mean, funny joke. You got our attention.
The vibes are real.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that. We like jokes.
Mm-hmm. You had a real busy, fun week. Mine was just like sick for the most part. I did, you know, watch some shows. Got into the Assassination of Versace on Netflix. Pretty crazy.
Really?
It's a nine episode series going through the chronicles of this guy named Andrew Cunanan. Spoilers really don't matter because this was something that actually happened. It was on the news. It was covered. It happened in the late 90s. But he went on a mini killing spree. He killed, I think, 5 people in total. All
little killing spree.
Little killing spree. I mean, it was just a wild ride, and it really like disheartened like the thought of the struggle of gay people in the 90s compared to now. We've come so far for them, and it's you know, a wonderful thing. But to like see how they were treated, how they had to like live in secrecy. You know, it was a lot of shining a light on the old gay community, relying on the younger gay community to really seek out the relationships. So yeah, great show, sad story, absolutely.
Would you advise me to come to New York?
Post COVID, you know, once once it's safe, absolutely. It's a very busy state. If you go specifically to the cities, it's a very dense population. It's going to be a good time. It's fun, but right now I wouldn't really advise against much travel until everybody's safe to travel. I mean,
upstate New York's cool though.
Upstate New York, yeah. If you don't mind going to like more rural country areas where there's still things to do. There's plenty of places in New York to go, but most people they're going to default to the major New York City, and regardless of vaccination status, the city's just shut down. There's not much to do at this state with how many restrictions there are. You have to have your you have to have your proof of vaccination for pretty much everything. There's an unfortunate situation where a lot of the hospital workers and just people who work in medicine are being required, and everybody has the right to their opinion whether or not they want to get the shot, but it's tough to see right now how it's being handled, and the people who want to work can't work, and they're being told they can't work because they don't want to get the shot. And it's tough, but it'll get better eventually.
They just announced yesterday that having the National Guard come and fill in for those nurses, and healthcare workers that are leaving or being forcefully fired. Which doesn't really make too much sense because if they're not properly trained, it's like not a really good substitute.
Right. I would rather have a well-trained nurse who doesn't want to have their vaccine than an untrained, vaccinated National Guardsman.
So just come to Missouri instead.
Yeah, Missouri's cool. We're chilling out here. Or Nebraska. I don't think there's much up there, but Madison and I have been talking about that's the least, when we think about this country, that's the least problematic state. I feel like nobody ever says anything bad about Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful state, nice and wide open.
Very.
Is it easy to have a girl or not?
Huh.
It's very.
It depends. It's very what's the word? It's subjective.
It is very subjective. I would say American women do love foreign men, so
as long as you're a good person.
Yeah. I mean that the personality is going to take you the most way, but if coming in with an accent is typically the hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, that's the situation with New York, and I didn't know about the National Guard thing. That's pretty wild.
Have you ever? I just read it today. Actually, this morning. Have you've been in New York City?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, I've never been in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Living in New York, and I've toured up to the Northeast. Went to Jersey, and so I saw the Statue of Liberty's ass, but
from the back.
Yeah, I saw it from the backside, but that's it. I saw New York City from a distance, but I've never stepped foot into it.
It's pretty crazy, man. I went to go visit a buddy once, and we got stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel for an hour and a half coming up from New Jersey. And then we were in the wrong lane. We were supposed to go to Brooklyn, which I believe was a right turn out of the tunnel.
You made a left.
We ended up taking the left, ending up dead center in the middle of Manhattan. I wasn't driving. My buddy was driving.
Was it your buddy or your pal?
Both.
Okay.
He's my buddy pal. Pal buddy. Pale buddy. I don't know. Ryan. My buddy Ryan.
Huh.
Different Ryan. Not this Ryan. Yeah, we drove out there to go visit some friends, and we turned left into Manhattan accidentally. All of a sudden, we're in this giant intersection, and everybody is going in different directions. We have no idea. We can't follow. Nobody's following stop signs. We had a green light, and there's 100 people crossing the street at the same time. We start pulling up into the middle of the road, and the light switches to red, so the other lane of traffic, and it was two ways, right? One way this way, one way this way. Okay. We're trying to go this way. We're stuck with people crossing like crazy here. Light turns red. The people here are waiting for us to move out of the way so they can come across. I see a guy in a taxi cab just pointing and laughing at us because he can tell we have no idea what we're doing. We should not be in this city, in this area, driving. we're clearly unprepared, and it was nerve-wracking. I don't have any memory of what happened after, so I was probably traumatized by the experience.
No. I don't even know how I got home.
I just remember the next thing, we were in Brooklyn at my buddy Joe's place, going and walking down to get some street Chinese food, and everything was good there.
What a good vibe story.
I mean, there was all good vibes for that. It was just I was laughing for the most part, but it was scary just seeing that many people, that many cars,
hectic,
not knowing
controlled
what to
chaos.
do, and then being pointed at and basically
and
being
laughed.
told you don't know what you're doing.
That's funny. What is your guys' favorite city you visited and why? It's a good question.
Favorite city. Well, the struggle is I haven't been to too many cities in the United States.
Yeah, right. Let's say so internationally for you. I've only been, but I've been to a lot of cities in the U.S. One of my favorite cities, I guess I've been in. Honestly, I think like Dallas, Texas was really cool. Very fast paced.
Mhm.
Everybody drives minimum of 90 miles an hour.
It's funny. I like Houston.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of ridiculous. I wish I drove more. Last time we went, my brother drove while we were in the city, and it was a slightly terrifying experience, but we got out safely.
Yeah.
Um,
Never been to Houston. But
mhm.
have you been to Dallas?
I have not been to Dallas,
Look at that.
but we both picked Texas
Yeah.
cities, so that must mean something.
Texas is the motherland. I liked Dallas. There's a lot of good food, and I went there for a music festival, and it was on South by So What.
Southwest.
South by So What. It's like the metal.
Oh, so what? Yeah, the metal one.
Yeah, and that was like one of the best festivals I've ever been to, and like well run. I brag about it all the time, and like literally walking the gates, the very first person I see, was a friend of mine, Andre. He was the guitarist for Weather Eye.
Weather Eye.
Eye.
I'm not familiar.
We played a show with him here in St. Louis with I Set My Friends on Fire, and
Nice.
so I met them there. And then he was running a clothing line. I forgot what it was called, Sick Threads or something.
Mhm.
And he gave me a discount but he was like, got the prime spot, first table right in the front gate. So I was like, I don't know how he scored that, but he did.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then kept running into people I knew and stuff. My friend Carl Bagnall, was the vocalist of Victory Heights from Colorado, was there, and he invited me to Johnny Craig's birthday
I
party.
forgot. Denver.
Oh,
Denver. I like Denver better than Houston.
Okay.
That is.
Speaking of, that's funny. So
I forgot about the Denver
that
trip.
reminds me, I'm gonna hit up Carl because I told him next time I come through Colorado, hit him up. I'm going to Colorado a week from today, actually.
Oh, nice.
To Boulder area, Denver, Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go get a little lodge up there and hike some mountains and stuff.
Yeah,
girl.
When the same time I went to Denver, we were staying down in Colorado Springs, technically, and we drove up to Denver for the day to check out the city. And I mean, it was a gorgeous city, but Colorado Springs, they have the Garden of the Gods there.
That's where we're gonna go.
Oh, it was beautiful, dude.
And
Absolutely
Red Rocks.
beautiful.
Nice.
I did not get to see the Red Rocks, but Garden of the Gods, and there was another one there that I can't remember the name of. There's two like major landmarks, I guess you could say, for, out there, and it was Garden of the Gods. I don't remember. I wish I could remember the name of it, but we went in 2 different days and hiked, and I took a bunch of pictures. No, not the Rockies. Not the Rockies. Although I have seen the Swiss Alps.
Really?
Yeah, from airplane.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool being in an airplane, looking out the window, and just seeing the peaks of the Alps through the clouds and snow caps. I was like, this is nice. This is nice. My brother got a cool picture of it from his phone, but it was like a iPhone 4 from all those years ago.
That's
way back
cool,
when.
Yeah, Denver, and then I want to go see Red Rocks. Like I said, I just recently read that seismologists have, done research and came forward saying that because of all of the concerts and especially like the EDM and subsonic bass, just
shaking the earth.
Yeah, it's like it's not stable, and so there's a very limited amount of shows. Apparently, not really shut it down.
Wow.
So I want to go catch that. We were looking at dates. There's no show that lines up with us being there, but it's still open to the public when there's not a concert. So I just want to go through like early morning and take some good pictures and stuff and just see it. I'd like to go for a concert, but the Dead and Co. is coming like the week after we leave. And I was like, that was the first band I envisioned for whatever reason. I was like, seeing like the Grateful Dead cover band or like members of would actually be something really cool to see.
Is John Mayer still playing with Dead and Co?
I believe so. So that's
cool.
It would have been even cooler. But
yeah, we had Madison and I had tickets to go see Dead and Co. when they were here 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
but we bought them, pre-COVID. And then it got delayed, and we didn't technically buy them. One of our coworkers bought them for us. We were all going to go together, but then naturally, when it got postponed, he's an older gentleman, so he wasn't really going to sit there and hold on to the tickets forever. So I'm pretty sure he sold them because then the show came up. He never contacted us about it. I don't think he would have gone by himself because we're kind of his concert buddy.
Yeah.
So
unfortunate, but next time. Yeah. Texas has some good festivals. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah. I stayed at what's it called? Westin Hotel, right? West Inn. Yeah.
West Inn?
Yeah, West Inn.
Yeah.
I was like,
Westin B?
Yeah. Weston Hotel, and it was actually one of the best experiences I've had there. I went and got a bottle of Yamo wine, and honestly, it was the best wine I've ever had in my life. And it was like $8, and I just grabbed it randomly off a shelf. And
dude, wine is so like all over the place when it comes to flavor, taste, and pricing.
It doesn't matter.
You
The
know?
price is just a gimmick. Like, it is the best wine I've ever had in my life. We just slammed the whole bottle. My girlfriend at the time and I like. And it's kind of funny in the hot tub, in the hotel room, and the fire alarm goes off. Of course, like 4:00 in the morning, and everybody evacuated, and we were like, "Do we? Do we? Yeah, do we have to, like,
do we just
rush out of here, get dressed, go outside, and then we're like, let's wait it out," which is probably like really dumb.
That's a coin flip.
Turns out a kid pulled the alarm or something, so it was a false alarm. So we looked out the window. There was a bunch of people in their robes and nightgowns and stuff out in the street, in the
If
parking
it's
lot.
4 a.m, fire alarm's going off in a hotel room, and
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
see
like-
any smoke, I'd probably go back to sleep.
Oh, I was like, I can die happy right now. So it was cool. We just saw some of the. It was a 2-day festival, so we went 2 days. It was a 3-day, but we went 2 of the 3 days, and so we already saw like a lot of the good bands. The Story So Far closed it out the following day.
I still haven't seen them live.
Wow, they're awesome. They're good. They closed it out. It was like 1:00 in the morning. Yeah. It was
Wow,
like
that's a
super
late
late
set. Holy shit!
Yeah,
what
and-
time did they start their set? Start?
Theirs?
Yeah.
Probably at like midnight.
Okay, I guess
12,
I thought maybe it was
12:15.
like a 10:30, and they just like
No,
we're gonna play all the albums all the way through, back to back.
No, they started kind of late too. We were like surprised, but and there wasn't really any like snags or holdups on time. Knuckle Puck, that might have prolonged it, maybe because they were performing their last song and the vocals fell off stage right in front of me, and I saw him break his wrist.
Ow.
And then went off the side stage, and like they were behind like some tarp and stuff and behind cabs, but I could just see him, he was holding it and shaking, and it was a compound fracture, and his shit was messed up.
Yeah, man.
So they canceled. They shut. They ended their set right then. They're like, "Thanks for coming out. we gotta get off stage." And there might have been a little bit delayed over, but no, everything else was running smoothly. Every time I die, this was one of the coolest things. There was a big storm coming, and every time I die was playing, and it just looked scary as hell. I'm like, "Oh man, we gotta close this." They were like, the festival was almost gonna be shut down. And they were just performing, and Keith Buckley kept like looking up at it and was like performing. He goes, "That looks like just impending doom heading our way." And it was so funny. And then they played. I couldn't tell you the song, but they just played like a banger, and then like literally the storm was coming our way, and then hit a wall and just shifted and went the opposite direction. And he was like, "Did anybody else see that?" He's like, "I think we just like scared of that storm."
We deterred ourselves.
Yeah, it was really cool to see and then the show was perfect after that went on, but like a big storm coming our way, and it was like right at us and literally just hit a 90-degree turn and went the opposite direction. And that was like fucking cool to see. And Dance Gavin Dance was like right after him. Mirror, Attila. Damn. Yeah. All Swancore was there, dude. I saw Cianvar, Edola, and Kurt Travis did a solo, and some of the artists were playing there with them. Yeah. That was like one of the best. It was like in a baseball diamond in the stage. There's 3 stages, and they're all like 3/4 of a square, just back to back to back, and none of the sound like overlapped, and all the timing was perfect. Because there's 3 bands playing at once, but and none of the sound overlapped. But if you wanted to walk all the way across, you can catch 3 different bands in less than 1 minute. Yeah, and the sound was immaculate. So it was just really cool. That was like the best experience. So I really like Dallas, Texas, honestly, because of that. But Colorado, I've been to Denver, but I stopped in for lunch on our way back from LA. And so I just stopped at Chiba Hut. And
Dude, this place is so good, dude. That's where
and it was the
went to
first
Denver.
week that it was open to like smoke publicly. So we like got food. We sat on the patio, and we were all like trying to smoke. We're like, oh wait,
Why are we hiding?
yeah, it was totally legal. It was cool. So it was the first time, like the first week it was open, and it was booming because of that. And, so I didn't get to see Denver too much, but did see Chiba Hut, and that's it.
Dude, that's funny. So, thinking of your like, oh, we can just like smoke it. What are we hiding for? 2 nights ago, after we were finished like loading out all the stuff, walking out to our cars and we were getting ready to go, and this older gentleman pulls up, rolls down the window, and calls out to us, "Hey, there are people in there?" Like, yeah, it's still going. They got the disco going. I mean, There's music playing. It'll probably pop off around 2 a.m. if you want to go in there. All right. This is the most important question. Can I smoke ganja in there? We were like, well, there's, the smoking area. Like, literally, you go in and turn to the right. They got the smoking area there. You're more than welcome to go. And he goes, all right, perfect. That's all I needed to hear. He got out of his car. He ran inside. He was just looking for a place to smoke.
That's funny. He didn't care about no disco.
He didn't care about the disco. He just wanted to know, is it open and can I smoke?
He was looking for that dizzy disco.
The dizzy disco.
That's funny. Wow, I didn't realize we've already been talking for about an hour, just hanging and vibing out and stuff and just being homies. But I guess it's kind of traditional. We like at least listen to a song and do some sort of reaction. You want to just pull some up anyway? And
yeah.
Yeah, very tasty.
Very.
It just it puts me in a good mood every time I hear that. What's another one that we don't have to listen to, but like John Butler Trio.
Ocean.
Yeah, you can't listen to these things and be in bad mood.
Dude, I remember you were working at the pageant that night.
Yes.
And I told you that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I was in the pit with Madison. You were up by the bar. And you walked up to me and you said, as soon as Ocean started like going, everybody at the bar just
shut the fuck up.
Just shut up.
I tell everybody about it because that was honestly one of my favorite shows I think I've ever worked was John Butler Trio. Because, not a sound was made. Nobody's phone went off. Nobody ordered a drink. Nobody took a sip of a drink. Nobody talked. And I walked down the aisle, and I was just standing there. Somebody else walked down next to me and was holding a drink. Like, you're not supposed to stand in the aisle. But we both were like, and he turned and looked at me, and he's like pointed, like, is this cool? And I was like, yeah. I was like, you're fine. I was like, dude, I don't care. Like, this is amazing.
It's all good.
That was one of the best concerts I've ever worked because of how just immaculate and awe-inspiring that was.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, I wish I can relive that moment. But yeah, John Butler Trio, if you don't even know, look him up. But go see him live.
Seen him twice. Once in an outdoor venue, which was honestly a treat. It was a free show.
Even better.
Yep. Played in a small town of what was it? Lockport, New York.
Oh, I've been to Lockport.
Yep, it was.
Or Fairport, maybe.
At like the top of a hill in like their little city center.
Wow. Well.
This is our longest so far.
Yeah,
of all of them. And I would like this to actually technically be our first official. I would say I'm tired of the .1, .2, .3 titles.
That's cool. I think we went through the least amount of technical difficulties besides the desktop audio, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that was nothing. Though that happens to everybody. I'm not worried about somebody being like, "Oh, I can't hear it." I'd be like, "That's what I need. I need. If something happens, feedback, baby. I need to hear it.
Feedback, baby." We like feedback, but we don't like making feedback. Yeah, if that makes sense. Devin, she goes, yes. She loves that song.
Good set, guys. Is that
yeah. Woo, good set, killed it.
Is that a sneak diss because of me?
Yeah. Thanks, New
Funny enough, I was telling Nuclear Waste. I had every show that I've worked so far, I've only maybe watched a couple of the band's sets. Like if it's a half day or I could leave in the middle and come back at night. Regardless of if I see them or not, when they come off stage, I'm always like, good set. At one night, the band did not have a good set, and I still said good set.
That's all right. Yeah. I'd rather hear that than be like, damn.
Yeah, right. Your set sucked.
You guys sucked.
I won't say what band it is because they were good people. It was just
rough set.
I don't think the set was necessarily bad. One of their stage guys, one of their crew, after I said that, he looked at me and he was like, the crowd sucked. And I was like, oh.
Oh, it was the crowd's fault, huh?
Well, I guess they weren't receptive.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like towards the end, there was one very drunk guy in the crowd who was like, I don't know what band, who is it? What major metal band recently put out an album and they haven't put out an album? They were like, big in the 80s.
Iron Maiden?
I think Iron Maiden, yeah. I think some guy like towards the end of the set was like real drunk. It was TGG. Yeah. It was you guys. It was your set. You guys played like ass. I said good set when it was done.
Oh, yeah.
No, that didn't happen. You guys don't play like ass.
No.
But,
never.
No, the guy was like yelling about Iron Maiden. He's like, on this day, blah, blah, blah. Like spitting Iron Maiden facts, shouting like in between their song. So the band was just like up there like waiting for this dude to stop his drunken rant about Iron Maiden.
Okay.
I didn't know how the rest of the set was before that because I literally like showed up as that was happening. So, but drunk people in shows be drunk people, you know?
Yeah, you gotta have them. It's not a show without them.
Mm-mm.
And it's not a metal show without technical difficulties. So that's why Pointfest was technically deemed a metal show.
Because it had technical difficulties.
Other than that, it's just a good old rock show. But once you have technical difficulties, it makes it metal.
Yep.
So yeah, like our last show at Pops, technical difficulties right off the bat.
Yeah. I can't wait for you guys' next show at Pops.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be no technical difficulties and you don't have to call it a metal show.
Yeah. It'll be more of like a hip-hop, trap, rap show.
That's kind of true because it's you guys in Discrepancies.
Yeah. And dude, open it. The Disciple. It's like just hip-hop.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Puddle of Dud. That was...
Puddle of Dud.
So it's a joke on P.O.D.
Okay.
Which is not Puddle of Dud.
What's
which is
P.O.D.?
Payable on Death.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they're playing today.
Huh.
So today was podcast or set up for P.O.D. and I chose podcast.
Nice.
I chose our P.O.D.
yeah. P.O.D. cast. Yeah, I didn't know P.O.D. was in
Mm-hmm.
their satellite tour or something, 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's their 10-year anniversary tour, so.
Shout out to P.O.D.
Yeah, honestly, legends.
They
grew up with them.
You grew up with him?
Well, I mean, I grew up listening to P.O.D., you know? I mean, I was...
friends?
No. I
wouldn't be surprised.
I was an influential youngster in the early 2000s.
Were you a podhead?
Was I a podhead?
Yeah. I was kind of
I was screaming for Jesus, man.
Yeah, we are.
Because, I mean, that's what Payable on Death is referencing.
Yeah.
You know, paying for your sins, I would assume. Something like that. They're a Christian band. Youth of the Nation.
Yeah. Huh.
All right.
Well, shout out to Pod. Shout out to all you pod heads out there. Shout out to the people watching our podcast instead of listening to P.O.D. right now.
Is that an endorsement to not listen to P.O.D.?
No, just shout out to the people that chose this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you could have been listening to P.O.D. this whole time.
You could have been listening or watching anything
Yeah,
else, but you chose to hang out with us.
Yeah. So
that's greatly appreciated.
That's awesome. You have no idea how much we love that. Thanks for keeping the vibes 100 with us today, folks.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a talkative one.
Yeah, thanks for all the engagement. Makes it a lot more fun to do this when we have people to talk to while we're doing it.
Yeah. Let us know all the things, issues. We're almost pros.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're semi-pros right now. So.
For anybody who's going to be watching this on YouTube, leave comments, like, subscribe. Help us out. We want to do this.
Tell your grannies.
Tell your grannies.
We need all the love we can get. So, well, that does it for another episode of Hello Good Vibes. I guess we'll chime in next Wednesday.
As long as I'm not sick and you're... Oh, what are you doing
Colorado.
next Wednesday? You're going to be in Colorado. So this is becoming an every other week show.
Maybe we do Tuesday.
Maybe. I don't think I have anything going Tuesday, so...
But yeah, I'm supposed to have investors come down to my property and look it out. I'm probably not going to be there for it, so I wouldn't mind being here simultaneously while that happens. So
yeah,
maybe next Tuesday. Who knows? We'll surprise you. But then we'll make YouTube edits of some stuff and upload that maybe over the weekend. Just stay up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Give us follows and whatnot. We love it. We love all of you. Carlos says bye.
Yeah, Carlos has been here for the whole time.
Yeah,
he's been real quiet. I don't know. He's a little bit more talkative than that, but.
Well, thanks for chiming in, guys, and have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the week. Why not? And a good rest of the month for all of tomorrow.
Yeah, prepare for October.
Yeah,
Halloween season.
See you in October.
Peace.
You always told me make the best of things.